Welcome to the 16-ounce Cinema Podcast.
Hello and welcome to 16-ounce Cinema, where we drink pints and talk pictures. I'm TJ. I'm here as always with Michael.
Oh, I'm glad you told us what the podcast was because I honestly forgot. So I'm happy you started with that again.
And also Angus, who I hope has a fun nickname for this episode for himself.
I actually don't. Sorry.
That's fine too. Well, this episode's theme, picked by Angus, winning the last episode, is... Would you like to announce the theme, Angus, since it is your pick?
I picked 80s non-franchise horror movie, I believe.
That's cool.
I hope so, because that's the movie I watched.
Well, Angus watched a Christmas movie, apparently, so I don't know.
Yeah, kind of screwed it up.
Yeah, this is not coming out near Christmas, although we're 9 days away from Christmas right now.
Don't tell them that. We want to be topical.
I want to make Angus look like a dumb asshole.
No, we're breaking the fourth wall. And no, I'm not a dumb asshole. I'm not the one who wanted to record fucking 19 of these before we put them out.
All right. No,
we needed some practice.
no fighting, fellas.
If it were up to me, I would have put out that episode where I had a panic attack and Mike didn't save his recording.
Just the two of us like talking to a ghost.
Yes, I would have absolutely put that out.
And I think that episode where Mike didn't even turn up until 45 minutes in, it was great.
Did we even explain him coming in?
You know, we talked about these episodes last episode too. I hope every episode ever, we just bring we call up these old episodes that we deleted.
I fucking love nostalgia, so yeah.
Well, not nostalgia they never fucking heard.
Yeah, how do you have nostalgia for a thing you haven't experienced and that actually doesn't exist anymore?
We have nostalgia for these things. It doesn't matter that they don't. It's okay.
Well, okay. They can live vicariously through us.
Exactly.
We can talk about it so much that it becomes like kind of infamous, like that Jerry Lewis movie where he's like entertaining children as a clown in a concentration camp.
I saw that.
We just build it up for years about these episodes, and it's like, nope, you'll never hear them.
Where did he get the clown makeup in Auschwitz?
Blood.
Feces. Blood and feces.
Yeah, ash, blood, feces. That's all you need.
So he's basically in blackface with a blood smile painted on him.
He was like, "Hey, kids down there in the toilet, I need some of that for makeup."
Nazis weren't as PCs, so yeah, blackface.
All right, so let's get into our beers.
Yes.
I'll go first since we all paused. I have from Claw Brewing Company, The Devil Made Me Do It, bourbon barrel aged golden sour.
Wow, I wasn't expecting a sour at the end.
I like sour.
Yeah, bourbon barrel aged sour. That is different. It's also 5.5, so I won't like get really drunk and keep dropping shit like I did last episode.
They should have gone to hell.
No. That's a sober rant. You know, I was talking to my wife about the episode later and told her how like I got really worked up about Doom not going to hell, and then somehow I found myself in the middle of the road. I like blacked out, and I'm just ranting about Doom not going to hell, and she's just like, "Calm down, it's okay. They can't hurt you. If they make another one, they'll go to hell. It'll be okay." And I just took a breath and that was good.
Just to piss you off.
Oh my fucking god, I would be so fucking mad.
I hope in the divorce papers it said, "He won't stop mentioning hell. I don't get it."
He keeps saying they didn't go to hell. They didn't go to hell. I hope those are the last words of my life. I'm on my deathbed.
Son, come
or maybe
closer.
I'm being executed for some kind of crime. Any last words? They didn't go to hell.
Angus will be in the bag going, Fuck you guys.
And you'll be there, Mike, being like, ha 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 ha! Fuck you! They didn't go to hell. I'm glad they didn't go to hell.
See, more nostalgia from the last episode.
No, this episode exists.
Oh, right.
Yeah, people have heard that. by
Sour,
now.
Hopefully.
We've got like 3 people listening. I know that you're out there, you people.
Me, you, and him, yeah.
Yeah, we have to listen.
Hey, thanks, fellas.
I didn't
Loyal
even listen to the
listeners.
last episode, so that makes 2. Sorry.
I don't blame you. So, do you guys have beers?
Yeah, I have beers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to tell me about yours.
I haven't popped
Yeah,
them.
we
I
all
thought we were
gotta
gonna pop
speak.
them together.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have a Magic Hat Heart of Darkness Stout, which it's purple and it has a cool eye on it. I'm excited.
Heart of Darkness sounds
Ooh.
scary.
It does.
Yeah.
He's got a scary one too. You got a scary one, Angus?
Actually, I think I do.
Yingling.
No, I have something called. Well, let me just explain it first. My beer relates so much with my movie that I had to get it.
Okay.
It's a holiday beer because happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Valentine's Day.
Whenever you hear this, I
Christmas.
wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
I mean, whatever. Somebody's gonna be listening to it in June. Who cares?
Yeah,
It's
fuck-
Christmas.
Fuck it. Who cares? I got
Yeah.
a beer called Insanely Bad Elf Imperial Red Ale.
Ooh.
And
Hi.
the cover of it has like a crazy looking elf in a mental institution, but somehow he's allowed to have a tree and a little cup with beer in it that says, or no, it's not a cup of beer. It's a book that says Elf Regulations. And then there's a mouse eating his cookies and he's in a straitjacket.
Aw.
How is he going to
Aw.
beer in a straitjacket?
He's doing it with his feet.
What? Like how? Oh, he's turning the pages and drinking
Yeah.
his beer with his feet.
And it's an 11.2%. So I'm going to get fucked up.
All right. I can't wait till we talk about the Sinful Dwarf with your 11.2%.
Dude, I still picked
beer.
a holiday movie. It's related to holidays. It's
Oh, right. I don't know. I don't remember the Sinful Dwarf. It was like a Holland Christmas, right? Like horrors.
he wore
Christmas
like a little
party?
hat the whole time that we just didn't notice.
Yeah, the Santa hat.
All right, we ready?
Yep.
All right. We'll open it up. I have my noisy TARDIS bottle opener because I lost my Godzilla bottle opener when I was throwing it around last episode.
Since I'm going first with the movie, I'll go first with my beer. Yeah, this tastes like every other stout I've ever had in my life, so it's delicious.
So
That's all I have to say about it, really. I've never tasted
So-
stout. I've had one bad stout in my life, and it was the worst beer I've ever had. It was like a vanilla porter stout or some shit like that. But everything,
that sounds good.
no, but it was awful. Like it tasted like a flat soda. Yeah, whereas this tastes like a stout. You know. Oh, actually, I saved what somebody wrote about it because it was so retarded, but I just loved it. So let me read it. These are like the commercial description notes from the company, I guess. It says, our inky black stout had a smooth, round palate with a dreamlike undercurrent of bittersweet chocolate. This dense, liquid silk summoned hope from hibernation and balanced winter's endless white snows with a rich swirl of creamy black rapture. Which I don't taste any of that shit.
Black Rapture.
I was gonna say Mike really peaked up at that part.
Yeah.
It did.
Black
That's
Rapture.
the only reason I wanted to read it.
So I fucked up pouring my beer, and there's a lot of foam.
Oh, God damn it again,
Dude,
you son of a bitch!
why don't you have your wife pour it next time? I think that's what you should have done. She's an expert.
Have my wife pour it. I'll make her do the whole geisha routine.
Yes.
And for the whole podcast, she'll just sit by the door, on her knees.
I hope every joke you make, she just goes.
I have a quote you guys can borrow. That's perfect.
With her little delicate hand over her pouty lips. Just
I'm really
I guess
I don't have a geisha now to do this.
How's your 11.2%? How's the foam on that beer, by the way?
It was fine. because I know how to pour it like a man, but
bottle
that's...
so.
Yeah, insanely bad elf is an insanely bad beer. Holy fuck, it's gross.
I hate red amber ales or whatever those are, so I could see it.
It's an imperial red ale. Like,
I like red ales, but I can't imagine a
I usually do too.
red ale being good.
That's what made it, I think, bad, is just such the high level of alcohol content. Like,
just the sound of that sounds like that's all you would taste would be the alcohol.
Yeah, it's thick and strong. I'm not a fan, but I still have to make do and drink through the whole thing, which I'll probably do during the first review.
Mine's not super sour. It actually kind of tastes and crisp like a cider, but without that sweetness.
I've actually never had a sour, I don't think. Although maybe
sours are so good.
Yeah, sours are the next.
I love
big
a
thing,
good
dude.
sour.
I feel left out. I need to have a sour soon. All right.
We watched some movies, which we might eventually talk about. Now, last episode, and actually the previous nostalgia episodes, we had a problem. Now we've instituted a rule, which I'm sure we're going to break. But the rule is that we're not allowed to Google each other's movies until after the best bullet points segment. And really probably should wait till after the horizon shift to say anything.
I can't wait to be the IMDb it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you know the actual IMDb link. I can't wait to be the first to break this rule. I know I'm the biggest culprit.
It lead to like cool conversations in the middle of the movie, so I hope it doesn't ruin that.
Right. Well, I mean, like I said, somebody's bound to break this rule and get too curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should look up each other's movies because we're going to overlook people or things or whatever. Mostly people is what each of us overlooks. That being said, we might as well start out with our first movie. That's you, Mike.
All right. Well, I'm watching a movie called Society.
Oh shit! I love Society.
It's got fans. I'm excited. All right. It came out in 1989. It's done by a guy named Brian Usna, who I guess
he's good, man. He did Bride of Reanimator. He did Return of the Living Dead 3. Love that guy.
A Faust adaptation, a very literary.
Which Honey, I Shrunk the Kids film did he do?
The one with all the gore. The one where they fucking destroyed the whole family and ripped them apart, like because they were too small. They just started stomping on them.
Honey, I Sold the Kids to the Devil.
That's a sequel I'd watch right now, and I think Rick Moranis would unretire for right there. So basically, I'm just going to hop right in the movie because I really didn't have any idea what the movie was about, except I saw a picture of a gay-looking John Stamos, and I read that it's a horror movie, and basically here we are. I watched it.
John Stamos is in it?
No,
I have
but
no idea who's in this.
The main guy, whose name is Billy, looks like a gay John Stamos. So
he does.
Okay.
I can attest to that.
I bet if I Google him, I'll find the Orlando shooter.
No, you'll find the guy who just did the bombing in New York and blew his balls off.
That
was for anybody listening. That was 3 months ago.
On the floor, bleeding and like hugging his non-existent balls. So that's very all right. So that's obviously since after I watched the movie, but as I was watching the movie basically starts with this like Karate Kid looking motherfucker. And he looks like he's on a lot of steroids. So if you imagine the Karate Kid on steroids, that's who starts the movie. And he's basically he opens this really nice door and he walks through this really lovely kitchen. And I mean, it's not like millionaire nice, but it's like a kind of kitchen that like an upper class white people would dream about. And I guess
like David Lynch's kitchen in that video of him making oatmeal or eggs or whatever.
Did you make me watch that? Because I think I remember it. That's the only reason I would watch it. So, but also me, like I obviously love the kitchen, and I actually rewinded it just to watch the kitchen again because it's really nice.
I'm gonna have to see this just for the kitchen.
It's a really lovely kitchen.
Mike was just watching HGTV.
You know who else loved this kitchen? The guy in the movie, because his nipples were just fucking rock solid.
I'm gonna masturbate to this kitchen.
He was so sweaty. He was so sweaty while he was walking through the kitchen. Like when you see him, he's opening the door. He looks like an all right guy, and then he's just sweating as soon as he gets.
Oh, so it's a gas oven, even better.
Better. So basically, I hope he's the main character, and I assume he's the main character at this point since he's walking through it. He does do one weird thing, which he grabs a knife and kind of hugs it. He grabs the knife by the blade, and I've never seen that in my life, and it almost ruined the movie for me. Like
it's dangerous.
It is very dangerous. He didn't cut himself or anything. So anyway, he's walking through this kitchen, and there's like weird clown noises and sex noises coming from upstairs, and then boom, his mom turns on the light, and it's all in his head. So there's no cool like sex clown noises. It's just his mom, or like like that.
So it opens on a dream kitchen sequence.
No, he was just on. He looks like he's on drugs. It was in the kitchen, and then his mom turns the lights on, and he starts crying.
Is the kitchen real?
The kitchen is real because we see it.
That's all I care about.
All right, so apparently he's fucking crazy, and in the next scene he takes a bite out of a yellow apple-looking thing, and there's worms in it. And then from that worm apple scene, we go straight to the fucking craziest credit sequence I've ever seen in my life.
Is it crazier than the credits for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
No,
that was awesome. I remember that from when I was a kid. I would fucking watch that little cartoon over and over. Sometimes I'd be disappointed. I'd be disappointed when the movie started because that little cartoon was so good.
It was really good. All right, so basically, like this. Okay, it's like having. Okay, so imagine a gay orgy in barbecue sauce and worms in slow motion while opera plays in the background. That's the beginning credit. And like people's names are being billed, and then this is what's happening. And then like so this weird shit's happening, and then like for a while, like he stops having this gay slow mo orgy, and then he starts making out with this woman. And while they're making out, this like giant sack-looking penis just kind of hangs in the air, being all drippy. and that's it. That's the credits. And I guess the movie's gonna start now but I don't want it. I just want to watch the credits again. It was fucking weird.
It's just drippy sacks.
The droopy sack was there the whole time. It was very weird. All right, so now it's basically this dude's playing basketball with his friend. Nothing really matters now. And that's where we get from the gay sex orgy with barbecue sauce and worms. We go to playing basketball.
Barbecue sauce would be the worst lube.
Probably.
It's so icky.
It'd be very icky.
Yeah.
That's right.
But finger licking good.
But the cool part about the basketball scene is it basically transitions to his sister, who's like really skinny and white, so not my type. But then she starts taking off all her clothes, and she has a great ass. And
whoa! You're talking about ass for once instead of tits and feet?
Yeah, great ass.
And white women.
Wow.
Wait, hang on.
Thin white ass.
This is the top 10 ass in cinema. It was just
I'm about to Google this movie.
Boom. There's a nice white ass.
Dude, hold on. If he Googles ass in this movie, he's going to get something he is not expecting.
That's actually in my thing where I'm supposed to tell the movie to you guys at the end. So
I'm sold, buddy.
No, it's fine. I just didn't want TJ to see it.
Society ass. That's what I
Don't do it. Don't do it.
All right. So basically, as we're seeing her unclothed, I mean, her ex is hiding in the closet and tries raping her, but nobody
From the
really.
closet?
Nobody.
From the closet?
No. Like she hears a noise, and then he's like,
his dick pushes open the door,
and then he like throws her on the bed and goes like, "Shh, don't say anything. It's not what you think," or something like that. And then the guy she screams for her brother, and the brother gets him. But nobody really seems upset. Like the parents come home, and everyone's like, this is just the ex-boyfriend. He's leaving now. And apparently, the '80s, just rape didn't matter. It was fine. So.
Well, it does now. Shit.
So now, yeah. So I think the movie is just going to be a weird scene after weird scene about the spiral of a rich kid or something like that. I don't really know what's going on. He all of a sudden he needs some suntan lotion, and so he like goes to his sister's room because she hoards it all. And then like he sees her, he hears her showering, and he just totally creeps up on her like, hey, I need some suntan lotion. But then like the what do you call that thing in the shower so that people don't see you? The screen?
The curtain?
The screen is see through. And like
he still wouldn't screen, and even though you told him, you told him exactly what it was, and he ignored it.
This guy doesn't listen.
But like her butt and boobs are in the same like back. Her boobs are in her back basically. And
the way he said butt and boobs like a teenager, like dude, her butt and boobs.
It's
They were totally gnarly.
They're not boobs at the same time. You're not supposed to have boobs on your back. It shouldn't be there. I think that's fair. That's fair on my part for being a little freaked out about the whole thing.
Oh, she had boobs on her back?
Yeah, she had her boobs on her back, and then he opened the door, like, or the screen or whatever. He's like, oh, screen. And then it's normal again. Anyway.
Do you know how bad a screen would be as a protector from water, like, leaking out? It would be the worst.
All right, so the earlier rapist guy is tells Billy. Billy's the main guy. His name is Billy. Great name.
All right, Billy. Gay John Stamos.
Gay John Stamos. Billy.
Billy Stamos.
And so anyway, the rapist guy bugged Billy's house, and it turns out that Billy's family is part of a sexy, crazy sex cult. And there's a big party is coming up where his sister is just gonna have sex with like Billy's parents and Billy and like all the neighborhood people. And so, like, that's the big party.
Neighborhood?
Yeah, the whole neighborhood. Like, everybody is going to have sex with Billy's sister. And so, like, what he tapes is that, like, this crazy sex tape of them all having sex, which is really weird because the party is supposed to be about her having sex with everyone. So she already had sex too. I don't know. They love sex.
Well, I mean, you can still have sex with everyone, and like,
yeah, but it made it seem like it's her, like, I'm going to have sex right now party. Like, she's a virgin, and then she's going to fuck her parents, and then she's a virgin. So
okay.
It came from. I think Billy's jealous. Like, I don't know if he's upset or more jealous. I think it's a little bit of both. So,
was Billy invited?
No, Billy is totally not invited.
Oh, that's
so Billy is probably jealous.
It sounds like the sort of thing you could just crash anyway.
Probably sister. You can go
like,
fuck her.
I was in the neighborhood. I saw the whole neighborhood was over here.
Also, like,
what's the password? Orgy.
When his rapist friend is playing the tape, it sounds like they go from an orgy to cannibalism. And I can't tell if it's orgy or cannibalism because it's just like, I can't tell. I don't know. I've never been to either, and I can't tell. Also, Billy's psychologist is part of the crazy sex cult too, which is kind of like a weird thing. He's a psychologist because he's fucking crazy. So, all right. So this guy Blanchard, that's the guy who made the sex tape. His name's Blanchard, and yeah.
What a terrible name.
Yeah, Billy tries to like help his sister, I guess, by giving his psychologist a sex tape. But like the psychologist is busy and tells him to fuck off, and he'll listen to it later. and so when that happens, he calls Billy in the next day, and he's really upset that Billy would tape his like it would like record his family. He's like, that's illegal. And then like when he played the copy of it, it wasn't a sex tape anymore. It was just like normal conversation. And then Billy gets really upset.
Still illegal.
Still illegal. Billy gets really upset and tells Blanchard. Yeah, you can't.
Your own family?
Probably. Maybe because you're son, you can, but you probably can't see your parents.
I think it all depends on state laws.
So should I have gone to jail when I used my walkie-talkie to overhear my sister's phone conversations?
Yes. Could you tell me more about that?
Well, no, like you remember like the little. No, I don't remember the conversation.
Was she part of a orgy cannibalism?
Cannibal sex cult?
My parents, I don't think, had sex with her. I certainly didn't have sex with her. So no,
I didn't. I also did not have sex with her sister.
I did.
Yeah, and you were in the neighborhood. You were only a block away. So if this was a neighborhood thing going down, you'd have been there.
I would totally have told you by now. Totally.
You would have been like 9 years old, but
anyway, Blanchard's dead. So his friend Blanchard is now dead. Because Billy wanted another copy of it, and Blanchard's like, "Yeah, I'll get another copy," and then he died, so he's not getting a copy anymore.
Wait, his job dead?
The guy Blanchard died, so it's all like spiraling out of control for Billy. He doesn't know what to do. He thinks he's going crazy or something. So then he has sex with a Spanish chick. So every movie I like to have like one major quote from it, and my favorite one is coming up, and we're mid-movie now, and he just had sex with like a Spanish woman, and then she gives him tea, and this is what she says. She says, "How do you like your tea? Cream, sugar, or do you want me to pee in it?" And that got me really excited. So that's my favorite middle part of a movie ever.
My dick twitched.
I mean, might do. Also, so like, okay, this fat chick keeps kind of like showing up the
Hell
whole movie.
yeah.
Yeah, and she makes weird grunting noises and likes to eat people's hair, and like she's like a glam rocker.
Oh, that'll get you really sick.
Yeah, I didn't like any part of it. She didn't speak. She was just a big glam rocker who liked to eat hair. I don't know what it was about her. I guess she was the Spanish girl's mom. That's who she is.
Okay.
Also, Billy keeps getting weird sex dolls. Honestly, he's taking this whole thing way better than me. Like, I would be freaking out. But Billy's still just living his life. Like, I don't get it. All right, so his girlfriend is now mad at him because he had sex with the other woman, which I guess is reasonable. Oh, by the way, we saw the other woman's tits, and they're all like 16. So, again, the 80s, just nothing mattered. Everything was fine. You could
The Hispanic one or the mother?
The Hispanic one, yeah. She showed her tits. They had sex, and she was all like moving in weird directions because it's a horror movie. And hey, there are her tits. Oh yeah. Also, they say the name of the movie a lot. Like the first yeah, a lot. Like they say the name of the movie a fucking lot. They talk about society, and it's just about rich people and shit like that. Oh yeah. And then he calls his dad a butthead, which comes into play later. But he's like, yeah, well, fuck you, butthead, and leaves the house. The weirdest thing I've ever. One of the weirdest things I've seen. All right, so then some nerd tells Billy that he needs to talk to him about what's going on, and he dies too. But everybody that wants to talk to Billy just fucking dies, and then the police come, and there's no dead person. So Billy's are like, what's going on? Where are all the dead people? Anyway.
Oh, a little American Psycho.
So Billy's all upset because people keep dying, of course. That's reasonable of him. He confronts his parents, and they shoot him full of drugs and take him away. And so he dies. Billy's now dead, okay? And we know he's dead because his friend goes looking for him, and then Billy isn't dead anymore. He's just like an asshole on coke all of a sudden. And this really happened. Like, Billy died.
This happened in real life.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, and then his friend looked for him, and Billy wasn't dead. He was just sweaty again. I don't really know what's happening. So Billy's sweaty, and he's alive again. All right, so he heads back home, and again, he's profusely sweating. He basically looks like Rambo. Or Rambo? Yeah. He looks like Rambo if he was like 30 years younger. Instead of the Vietnam War, he had like a lot of first world problems. Because remember, Billy's first.
My sister's tits are backwards.
Yeah.
First world problems.
We're back in the kitchen, and this fucker Billy, he grabs the knife in the wrong way again.
Oh, just like the dream.
Grab the knife right. There's no dreams. No dreams in this movie.
Rambo used to carry it in his teeth, so that seems even more dangerous.
Oh, I've tried that. It's no, you're gonna have guts to do that.
Yeah, we've seen you try it.
All right, and so the reason that I got Rambo in my head is because this guy's like invading his home with the knife incorrectly in his hand. Except that now they're at this. You remember they're at the sister's sex. Now it's the sister's sex party night, and so they catch him like a dog, like with a collar, and they just get him on the ground. And that's where we're at in the film now. Now he's at the sex party. So everyone is pretending the whole thing is like a play or something like that. And it's just weird as I'm explaining it because I didn't understand why this was happening.
Oh, no, I get it. It's like Hamlet.
Yeah, kind of like Hamlet. Exactly. PJ, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone is pretending the whole thing is like Hamlet. Except Billy, who's like on the ground like a dog, just sweating profusely. And then Billy finds out he's not one of society. So basically, this is, as I should have known earlier, this is a film about class warfare. But I'm a fucking retard, so this shit always goes wrong. Except it was like, he literally said, "You're not part of society, Billy. You're not like us." So now at the party, like, it looks like the mom and the daughter are going to have sex, which is kind of cool. And then Billy and the guy Blanchard, who died earlier, is also not dead again. So literally no one's died yet because they all keep coming alive again. But they're all tied up in the living room, right? And then Blanchard, his friend who was dead, but who we find out isn't dead, starts getting raped, like in the credits. It's really weird. He's naked, he's crying, and the whole party is just fucking raping him. And it's pretty sick. And they're all like reptiles. They all take their clothes off, and their version of raping is melting flesh into their bodies. So they're all like melting their flesh onto him and like sucking him dry like a mosquito. Like their faces get onto his body and like mosquitoes suction his skin up. And do you get it? Because it's like society sucking the lower classes dry. That's
It was clever.
I got it.
See what
I
you
got
did
it.
there.
Yeah. So Billy's more retarded than me because he doesn't get it. He doesn't know what's going on. And one of the rich people says, "Don't you know, Billy? The rich have always sucked off the lower class." So,
so they spell it out for you, like in case you didn't get it.
Spell it out for me 3 times in like 5 minutes. All the while, Blanchard is just getting fucking raped, just in the background, just sucking him dry, just sucking away.
So is there a cut where like suddenly Brian Usna appears on screen and starts explaining to you? Now in this scene, what we're trying to tell you is that the rich will suck you dry. Now back to my film. Thank you.
Right after that, there was a judge comes in and he fists Blanchard asshole, and he puts his fist all the way in through his asshole, and then it goes through his mouth. And this is the point. This is the point where
tell me when I hit your prostate.
I think it went past that. So I have to stop now because the last part of this thing is all my selling point. So either I stop the movie now, or I just continue with my selling point right now. Which do you guys prefer?
I would save it.
Then end of my description of the movie, and we're on to the next guy.
So, well, how did you like the movie? You can tell us that without spoiling it.
I liked the movie a lot, even though it was really bad. The last 10 minutes, which will be my selling point, is amazing, and then it had cool scenes to kind of keep me going. And as I was reading it, some of the cool scenes, like the chick with the boobs in her back, that was actually filmed later because the director thought we needed more weird shit in the beginning, and it totally kept. So it was good. Everything about it was solid. It's a solid cult 80s flick, basically.
Okay, so I'll just jump right into my movie now. I went back to 1987 for Angel Heart.
I was born that month. Or day.
That month. 1987 is my birthday.
You guys.
So Angel Heart, it's from 1987. It's directed by Alan Parker, who also directed Pink Floyd's The Wall. So you know his work.
I've never
not a fan.
Fuck Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd sucks.
Yeah.
I know this movie, which makes me excited. Go ahead.
Do?
Damn it! I don't know this one.
You know this movie.
Wait. Not Al Pacino. The other one's in it.
Robert De Niro is in it.
That's the one.
And it stars Mickey Rourke when Mickey Rourke before the drugs, basically. I mean, I'm sure he was on drugs then, but before he got he looks like he's on drugs. And I was like, what the hell? I couldn't recognize him. He wasn't all beat the fuck up yet.
He was like a heartthrob almost, right? Or no?
Dude, he's very handsome, I would say, in this movie. I was shocked. I was like, damn, he could have been somebody. All right, so basically what this movie is about is Mickey Rourke is this private investigator. It takes place in 1955. It opens up in a dark.
My mom was born that day.
It's still right. I don't know what the fuck you guys are laughing.
You know what? No, this is an episode that exists. Where Mike fucked up. I said 1984 was his birthday.
I
and then
misspoke.
insisted that we not use the term birth year. So 1987, my birthday, Angel Heart. It's a noir taking place in 1955, which is Angus's mother's birthday.
I already love this movie. It's so close to home.
It's all tied together. I didn't have any more beer in the house, so I switched to bourbon. That whole bourbon barrel aged thing made me just decide, well, I'm gonna drink some bourbon.
I drank a bourbon before this, so I'm excited.
All right, you probably had good bourbon. I'm drinking cheap bourbon.
Oh no, it was Buffalo Trace, which is my favorite bourbon.
I'm drinking Black Eagle. I call it the Land Shark of whiskey.
Land Shark's pretty high up there on mine.
Well, it's light and drinkable, but not really much flavor to it.
Gotcha.
I typically use it for mixing, but it's easy to drink straight. Not that I'm proud of it. So I haven't gotten into one fucking sentence in this movie yet. Mickey Rourke plays a private investigator in 1955.
You did get that sentence out.
Yes, that sentence is in the bag. We banked that one. He gets a call from a lawyer, a little law firm, and he arranges this meetup, and he goes to this freaky church. He goes past a woman scrubbing blood off the walls into this room, and there's Robert De Niro with these. He's got like long cokehead nails and a beard that like looks fake as hell. He's got one of the fakest movie beards ever.
Isn't it like just really dark and black?
Yeah.
I've seen the cover, but I've never watched this movie. But I know I've seen that cover. And I was like, holy shit, that's the shittiest beard I've ever seen.
Yes, it's and he's like Marlon Brando in this movie because he never stands up. You only see him sitting down the entire movie. Like even in the climax, like an energetic scene, he sits his ass down in a couch and does not get up. So Mickey Rourke goes to meet him, and Rourke is like, even in the opening moments, I immediately wrote down he's likable. They make him really likable. Maybe because it's like he really was handsome back then. I'm just like sold. Like, oh, hey, a pretty guy with lots of money. I'm down. He meets this guy. It turns out, Robert De Niro's character's name is Louis Cypher. The movie makes no attempt to be like, nah, he's not the devil. He's Louis Cypher. Wink, wink. Hey. Like, this movie hits you hard in the ribs with that. Like, hey, you see that? You see that, Louis Cypher?
Was that a euphemism for devil? Cypher?
Lucifer.
Oh.
Yeah.
But what's kind of cool is though they actually make a thing of it. Like later in the movie, Rourke kind of tries to he tries to say Louis Cypher because he's like, it can't be Louis Cypher like Lucifer. It's got to be like Cypher, and De Niro corrects him Cypher.
And then Louis C.K. originally, he just jerked off in front of women. That's the real devil.
So Robert De Niro, or the devil, basically says that he's kind of like this big time rich guy, producer, whatever. He got this guy who wanted to be a singer. He got him his start. And he had a contract with him, and basically obviously the guy sold his soul to the devil to become a famous singer. He makes it out to Mickey Rourke like it's about money, but you obviously know in that opening moment it's about his soul. But the guy's gone missing, and I guess the devil can't find this guy. So he sends Mickey Rourke to find him. He was last at this hospital. So what happened was basically the guy went to war, but he came back fucked up and in a coma. And he's been in this hospital, and every week or every couple weeks, the hospital sends an affidavit to the devil saying, yeah, he's still here. We've got him. He's, whatever. But now he hasn't been getting the affidavits. So he's like, they're not going to talk to me because I look like the fucking devil. Why don't you go see what they're doing?
Reasonable.
Yeah. So he goes down there and he flirts with the nurse, and they have this weird, they see the shot where they show her ass, but it's the movie's really good for the period. It really makes you feel like it's in the ass and the period don't go together. I was trying to say, she's basically in a 50s dress wearing 50s panties. So, her ass is just bundled up and fucked up by that.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah, Mickey Rourke would be checking out her ass back then. So he finds out from her that this singer, his name's Johnny Favorite. Yeah.
That's the fucking worst name ever.
It's his stage name.
I know. That's why it's so terrible. I didn't think his fucking parents named him that.
But he finds out the doctor who had been signing the he's here things. So he goes in to visit the doctor at home. He goes through his fridge, finds out the doctor's a morphine addict, and basically just locks him away to tell him the truth. Makes him go cold turkey on the morphine. The doctor basically reveals that Johnny woke up, but he had amnesia. And 2 people came and took him away 12 years ago. But they paid him off. They gave him $25,000 to keep sending the "he's still here" affidavits. And he did it because he's a drug addict. And, Mickey Rourke's like, well, shit, he's gone 12 years ago. How am I going to find anything out? And so he goes out and smokes a bunch of cigarettes at a diner. And he comes back to the doc to let him out because he locked him in a room to sober him up. And the doc is dead. Somebody shot him right through the fucking eye. He's dead. So
it's
like
funny.
a real dead or dead like a
he's dead.
You know what's
So
funny
Mickey
though is Mickey Rourke went through the same thing later when he got into drugs. The fucking doctor died.
Mickey Rourke wipes out all his fingerprints, and he goes back to De Niro, and he have another like "I'm the fucking devil" scene. And basically, De Niro throws money at him to keep him because he's like, "Shit, I'm gonna get in trouble for murder here, dude." And he's like, $5,000, and he's like,
Can I ask a question? I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Does De Niro play a better devil than Al Pacino?
See, I haven't seen The Devil's Advocate, but I gotta say, probably not.
Wait. You've never seen The Devil's Advocate?
No.
I honestly thought the two movies were the same for years until we started recording this fucking 10 minutes ago when I heard about this. I thought they were the same fucking movie.
Anyway, I feel like I kind of gotta shorten this a little bit because I can get a little meandering. That is one flaw I had with the movie. Like, I really liked that there was that sense of mystery to it, and the direction is really good. Like, it looks really good, but it's a little long. And so just to kind of wrap up, he kind of figures out like, okay, so Johnny Favorite was in a band and he had some ex-girlfriends, and the trail leads him to New Orleans, where he's got a few people to talk to. He's got Johnny had an ex-girlfriend who was an ex-girlfriend who was like a socialite. Then he had
black chick in the movie?
Yes, actually, Lisa Bonet from the Cosby Show.
This is the only thing I know about this movie, and I think you're going to use it as a bullet point for somebody here.
It's not a bullet point. Let's just get it right out the way. Lisa Bonet, a Cosby kid, was in this movie, and she got naked, and she got fired from the Cosby Show from it because rapist Bill Cosby couldn't stand a woman being naked in the movie.
Let's not throw wild accusations around like that, all right?
Yeah,
No.
Allegedly. I don't want to be sued, motherfucker.
Alleged rapist Bill Cosby.
Some 90-year-old man with a milky eye sues us. We have 3 listeners.
One of them is Bill Cosby, then. We win.
Okay, so he's in New Orleans, and he tracks down basically an ex-girlfriend and then the daughter of an ex-girlfriend, because the other, like the black girl that Johnny Favorite had been with is now dead, but she had a daughter who's still alive. And also he tracks down a bandmate. The bandmate is like the first one he really kind of puts pressure on. Yeah. No, Toots Sweet.
That's so much better than
that is such a New Orleans thing.
And apparently this guy is like some blues person. I don't know who anyone is ever. If you're not an A-lister, I'm just oblivious, I guess. I'm such a piece of shit movie watcher, and I don't know anything about music.
Dude, you watched like 30 silent films. You're whatever you are, you're about. You're the opposite of what you just said.
So he puts pressure on Toot Sweet, and then he gets his ass kicked. Then he follows Toot Sweet after, he's at the bar where Toot Sweet is playing, and then as the bar wraps up,
Mickey Rourke gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No, he's like he's not like the roided out guy. You know, back then he looked like a normal dude.
That is the only thing I've Googled so far is young Mickey Rourke, and holy shit, he was a handsome man.
Right?
Wow.
Remember when we liked an actor, except he was like a weird, disgusting old man, except like he was super handsome in the 80s? He's in that show, The Blacklist. What's his name?
Oh, James Spader.
James Spader, exactly like that, dude. He was a fucking heartthrob.
What happened to James Spader?
It wasn't even drugs. He just all of a sudden became a disgusting old man. Like,
right? Yeah. Like, he just came back and just like, nah, I kind of let myself go while I was gone. Like Val Kilmer. So Val Kilmer had problems.
Val Kilmer.
Actually, Val Kilmer kind of looks like Val Kilmer. Fucking James Spader does not look like...
in the face. No, you're right, because he was handsome in the face, and now he's not. He's just a fat old man.
Yeah, Val Kilmer just got fat. That's different.
So he follows Toot Sweet, and basically he sees they have a whole voodoo thing going on. And there's been hints like, chicken legs and just little hints leading up to like the occult, just to kind of spook you a little bit as you get into it. And that's where you see Lisa Bonet and her like throes of, she's like the priestess. So
I was going to ask, like, where the hell's the horror from all this? All right. Now
Yeah. So, but he met Lisa Bonet earlier, and there's a really nice little wet T-shirt shot. I was like, okay, well, I'm in. She's hot.
They got her shirt wet with Jello.
And Mike's really going to love this. She's meant to be 17 in the movie, so underaged.
Wait, hang on. Whoa. That is shots fired that I don't expect.
That's fine. Like, hey cops, go look at Mike's hard drive first.
Oh, no.
Well, whoa, that's even more out there, man. Whoa.
I hear Mike frantically deleting, like, no.
I don't know where this is coming from.
Disc wiper.
You know what he doesn't have to delete? His first recording of this show. You'll never hear it, people. We didn't either. So he follows Toot Sweet to the voodoo thing, and then he follows him home, and is kind of like, "What the fuck was that, dude?" Hey, Toot Sweet is like, he freaks out. He doesn't really want to talk because he's scared of the priestess and the voodoo and the retribution. And he gives Rourke some more information, some more leads to work on, and then he leaves. Rourke leaves, that is. He leaves the guy's apartment. Also, somewhere in there, he meets up with the socialite woman. He pretends to be someone who wants to have his palm read. And, like, he just kind of comes out with it. Like, hey, you knew Johnny Favorite. Why don't you tell me about him? Because I'm actually here about him. And then she's like, fuck off. Get out. And she throws him out. He goes back to his hotel. He wakes up and the police are searching his room. And it turns out Toot Sweet was found killed with his balls cut off and stuffed in his mouth. So that's two people, question, who are dead. And now he's really freaked out. He's like, shit. Like,
I'm freaked out.
Yeah, like I'm connected to two murders. And he starts thinking, like, Johnny Favorite is out there, doesn't want to be found, and he's killing these people.
He was tootsing his own balls.
Yes. This is where it gets really meandering. A lot after that, it's slow after that. Essentially, everyone he talks to trying to get leads dies. So, like, the socialite ex-girlfriend, he kind of goes back to, like, follow up with her, except that she's had her heart cut out. Yeah, I'm meandering just like the movie did. And I'm also kind of jumping around because I didn't really take notes on the plot. Because I was actually that into it. So, like, I'll give the movie that credit. I was, like, taking really quick notes about, like, the feel of the movie. Not as much on the plot because I was...
Honestly, you said you didn't take notes. I'm glad that I don't hear the flipping through the fucking pages.
No, I took a lot of notes, but just not on the plot specifically.
No, like 5 minutes ago, I actually bought the book Angel Heart. I was like, this sounds great. Yeah. Totally.
Right, well, I'm going to read it because I was invested in the mystery. Like I said, I keep going back to it being a little too long because I can't emphasize it enough. It was the biggest flaw of the movie, but I was still invested in the story. And now Rourke kind of has this, like, I wouldn't quite call it a romance with Lisa Bonet, the voodoo priestess, but weirdly they have, like, a chemistry. It's like, yeah, they're meant to kind of come together as this story moves on. And they have a moment that's I'm going to say for the bullet points.
They have sex.
Right. Yes, they have sex.
Why did that make your voice break? What the hell?
They have sex. And now throughout this movie, like we said horror, and I've basically described it a noir film instead of a horror film. Yes. But there is this, like, it's very psychological. Like, the whole time it is like a what the fuck movie. You're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, in a good way, though, because you want to know, like, where is Johnny Favorite? And even though it's like, okay, he sold his soul to the devil, you don't know what's going to happen at the end, like, is he going to find Johnny Favorite? Is something fucked up going to happen to him? How do all these pieces come together? And it's got just that, like I said, it really envelops you in the period as well, like the cars and the look. And they do a lot of like you see into his wallet, you see into his drawers, like not his pants, but like just Mickey Rourke, handsome 1987 Mickey Rourke's drawers.
You're right. I was just thinking old Mickey Rourke, like wrinkled fucking sack. Yeah, never mind. He had a fucking beautiful sack then, I bet.
And they made it look period appropriate.
Bushy.
But like they show you like little, like, I guess artifacts that it makes you feel really 50s, but also at the same time you're seeing all this stuff. You're kind of like, wait, are there clues?
Little artifacts like separated water fountains. Like good things like that.
He does ride a bus, and they have like signs on the bus that say like "coloreds sit here," but he sits there like he's like, fuck this segregation shit. I'm Mickey Rourke. I'm sitting in the black people section,
and they beat the shit out of him.
Well, I mean, they address the racism because like he's sleeping with the black girl, and the cops like yell at him, and like the stuff gets broken. He's like, "Oh, why don't you?" Yeah. Now, I don't know if I really I don't know if I should spoil this movie for everybody.
Absolutely.
Have we ever stopped from spoiling anything?
No, you're right. We're a spoiler. So
how dare you spoil this movie from 30 years ago, you piece of shit.
Well, I'm saying, I was invested not knowing the ending. So, if somebody wants to come by and watch this movie, it does kind of suck to spoil it. So just
stop it now. Do that 15-minute skip. Or 15 seconds.
A 15-minute skip, yeah.
You'll be
skip part of Angus's movie.
I would be disappointed if they didn't hear my first 4 minutes of just.
Okay, so the devil shows up again. What has happened is you learn from someone else and the truth, and Mickey Rourke has, of course, a fucking freak out. And then Lisa Bonet is found dead because somebody put a gun up her snatch and shot it.
Nice.
And the cops are like, "This doesn't look good for you."
I thought somebody took her heart out.
No. That was the socialite ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Lisa Bonet is the daughter of an ex-girlfriend. Oh, but I'm skipping to the end with her being dead. Lisa Bonet being dead. You find out first that what happened was Johnny Favorite knew that the devil was coming for his soul. So he found a young soldier and did this crazy voodoo ritual where he cut out that young soldier's heart and ate it. And basically what that would do was fool the devil into thinking that the young soldier's soul was his soul. And then his whole identity changed and he became that young soldier. So Johnny Favorite.
I hope it was Soldier Boy.
Harry Angel, which is Mickey Rourke. Soldier Boy has done this.
Oh, wow.
But the problem was,
that is a twist.
In taking that soldier's identity, he had to go to war because that was what the soldier had to do. And the war, he suffered an injury which wiped his mind. It gave him amnesia. And that's where basically his socialite ex-girlfriend and her father pick him up because they're part of the occult ring. And then they kind of just send him out in the world. They don't ever see him after that. And then he becomes, Mickey Rourke. But Mickey Rourke kind of has this conflicting, he doesn't remember all that. And he wants to be the young soldier whose soul was stolen for this deal. And the devil comes along and says, basically, both the souls are mine. And I know you're still Johnny Favorite, even though you don't know it. And I'm taking you to hell.
That is bullshit. I don't like that. I was with the devil until
and so
that
the
part.
whole movie was just the devil wanted to fuck with him one last time for trying to cheat him, then put him through all this stress and hell on earth before sending him to the real hell. And then he finds, he tries to run away. He finds Lisa Bonet. The cops are like, "Who was this girl to you?" And it turned out, you find out earlier that this girl was actually his, now it's his daughter. It was Johnny Favorite's ex-girlfriend's kid that they had together. So now the soul of Johnny Favorite is in this person. So he fucked his own daughter.
Nice.
It turns out that the devil has been controlling him because he does have control of his soul, making him kill the people but not remember. So everybody who's dead, Mickey Rourke killed.
Oh, so oh boy.
Yeah.
That's weird.
And then basically the guy says, "You're going to burn for this." And he's like, "I know, dude. I know." What's really great is the credits roll and it's intercut with scenes of Mickey Rourke getting into a dark, dark elevator and going down, 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 down. And then at the end, DeNiro says, "Harry, Johnny," Harry being, Mickey Rourke's character's name, which I didn't say at the beginning. That's where they get the name Angel Heart. And that's Angel Heart.
Yes.
I'm not a pervert. I like seeing naked girls. I'm your fucking sister. Yeah, and you've got fucking big tits, and I'm going to tell everybody I saw them.
That was really good music.
All right. Well, that will intro my movie. The theme was that we picked 1980s non-franchise horror film. And since I thought this would come out like normal, I didn't know we would be waiting a month before releasing it. I went for a holiday movie, a family-friendly one, obviously.
I like it.
Right, that's from A Christmas Story,
yes.
isn't it? That classic line, like, you'll shoot your eye out. You got fucking great big tits. Yeah.
It's funny because I think his sister was younger than him in that.
Oh, so Mike's really in. Mike loves this episode for all the underage tits.
Well, they were white, so no.
How are her feet?
The best feet.
All right, well, if you guys remember, the beer that I picked was Insanely Bad Elf. That had to do with the movie I picked. I picked a movie that I couldn't find a DVD release of, couldn't find any, like, actual, literal, like, legit streaming services of it. To buy the VHS, it would have cost me $116 from Amazon.
So you have a movie none of our viewers can ever see?
Well, they can, because
our listeners, I hope they're not watching us because I look.
Oh my god,
right
me
now.
too.
Shower before the episode. I accidentally drank soap in the shower.
That's the weirdest beer you've ever picked. So the movie I went with was a holiday movie that nobody's ever heard of. It's called Elves from 1989.
That's pretty late to like be completely gone, unless it was made for like $300 in a favor.
Oh, it was made for very little money. I was trying to read about it, and what sold me on this movie was just like when I read like the synopsis, I was like, holy fuck, this sounds insane. Like, that's why I was like, I don't even care if it's not Christmas when you motherfuckers hear this. You gotta hear about this movie. I'm not waiting a year to tell you.
So how did you find it?
I just searched like on Google. I just went Christmas 80s horror movies, and this was the very last fucking thing listed.
So someone else was able to like see it, or they just had it on a list. Like, hey, this is it.
They had it on the list, and like apparently, like there's like a bunch of websites just dedicated to this movie and like their reviews of it and how fucking insane it is. I was able to find a copy. Surprisingly enough, somebody ripped their VHS copy to YouTube, and apparently 12,000 other people have enjoyed this film with me. And it was actually a decent VHS rip. The movie is called Elves, and let me pull up my notes. Flip through my phone. Yes, thank you for the sounds, because my phone doesn't do that. So the movie begins with three, what I'm assuming are teenage pagan lesbians out in the woods with some...
Whoa!
Oh, yeah, they're underage.
Are they underage?
They're 17, I believe. We'll go back to that lucky number of 17.
She's only 17.
So they're out in the woods with this weird book one of them stole from her grandpa, and it has pictures of like naked ladies and shit.
That's not a weird book. Every grandpa has pictures of naked ladies.
Well, it's weird because they're like drawn ladies. Like it's not like just like a fucking Playboy from the fucking 1955.
Oh, it's like a how-to book.
Yeah, like, and there's like a sketch, like kind of like if you get into that school, you know, like can you draw this turtle or can you draw this naked lady?
Send away.
So they're in the woods and they want to make a spell to end Christmas because they just hate Christmas.
And it takes a book of naked ladies in Christmas.
And it's not just naked ladies. Like the one girl, like who brought it, like drew some weird shit onto it. Like, oh, look what I did to her titties, and she made them like weird looking and like
gave them mustaches.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of looked like mustaches.
You know, my mom. On a related note, my mom threw out a Guns N' Roses fucking booklet from a CD because it had weird titties on it. So I
love that. I don't know, my mind went racing because we said tits with mustaches on them, and Mike goes, my mom.
Mustache titties.
I was like, dude.
Oh, she brought the fucking booklet. I love that booklet, man. It was like just a torso of big-ass titties on a fucking, like, crucifix, and they were, like, tied up BDSM style, and my mom's like, nope, throw them out. And the next day, I didn't have them anymore. Also, she did my Coolio CD.
a similar story. Like, do you guys remember Methods of Mayhem? Get naked.
Oh, yeah, I do.
In the booklet, it had Little Kim topless. I cut that out, and it's on my dresser right next to me. I like taped it on there, so I have her riding a giant chicken naked. All right, the main girl is holding a candle and it breaks in her hand and cuts her, and she says she has to leave because she'll get in trouble. Well, blood is pouring out of her fucking hand, at a massive like amount of blood, like it's just flowing through her fucking cut hand, and she's like, guys, it's time to go.
Yeah, that's a party foul right there.
There was no pain, no nothing, just fuck, there goes a gallon of blood.
Not again.
Shucks. And it pours into the ground after they like read the book and stuff, and the ground starts smoking, and an evil elf hand pops out. It cuts to the girl going back home because like she knew it was time to go, and her
because she's covered in blood.
Well,
from
no.
her hand?
It kind of heals up a little bit, and she walks in. And all of a sudden, her grandpa, who's in a wheelchair, just rolls up and slaps her in the face twice. No explanation. Just fucking slap as hard as he can.
He can't jerk off because she took his little nudie mag. How pent up do you get if you don't get it for a little while? Like, man, you start slapping little girls left and right.
But like 2 of the hardest smacks I've ever seen in cinematic history, he gave her.
Holy shit, they're record-breaking slaps.
Well, she held her face. She gets over pain very easily, as we saw by the candle fucking thing.
Yeah.
And then he just says, I'm sorry. Did you go into my room? And she's like, yeah. He's like, well, don't touch my fucking books. And then her mother comes out, and the mother is such a fucking twat throughout this entire movie. The mother says, you know what? You were out tonight? I'm cutting your bank account tomorrow.
Oh, so they're rich like those in society.
No, they're not rich, but the girl has a job at the mall, you know, she's earning her own money because she wants to get out because her family's fucking insane, apparently. Like, grandpa just slaps her, like, at the fucking drop of time. Mother just fucking yells at her.
Yeah, I'd want to get out, too.
Going back to the clip that I played earlier, you learn about another member of her family, her little brother. Who is the fucking biggest pervert I've ever seen in a movie, who's fucking 8 years old. And he's wearing a Ninja Turtle onesie sleep outfit for the entire thing. I believe he was Michelangelo. I could be wrong about that. It was hard to tell because it was fucking grainy.
8 years old is a little, or 8 years is a little old for a onesie.
Yeah, like, well, you know what I mean. Like the little pajamas with the feet on them and shit.
Even so, I had those, and I probably gave them up when I was 8.
Well, now I feel old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
You're grown up.
They had, like, the shell on them, right?
Yeah.
I had those.
Yeah, I think I did, too. I'm 99% sure
Everybody our age did. We all had the damn...
No, I only had the most generic cheap things from Kmart.
Well, you're Polish.
So.
Mike had the Street Sharks.
Yeah, exactly.
That
would have been great.
I mean, you had the sheets, right?
Oh, of course.
The sheets with the
I still think I have them at my parents' house. I'm pretty sure I still have those.
So something's happening in your movie.
Yeah, there's an elf that comes out of the ground, okay, after the blood.
Wait, we're going back.
No. I'm just saying the elf comes out, and the girl, like, she gets her fucking face slapped, and they're cutting her bank account. The pervert brother, so at night, everybody's trying to sleep, right? And the girl is starting to like shake and have weird dreams. The creepy elf is watching everybody in the house sleep, and then he breaks into the house and starts attacking the brother.
I'm imagining the elf is Will Ferrell. Sorry, that's my.
I am too now. All right, this sounds great. I was kind of picturing the elf on a shelf, but now I'll picture Will Ferrell
the way to describe
mixed with Leprechaun.
Actually, Leprechaun could work. The way this elf kind of looked like, it was actually kind of cool. I was saving it for my bullets, but it was actually really good design for such like a shitty, cheap movie. Like it kind of looked like Angelica Houston in that witch movie, mixed with the creatures from The Descent, mixed with Leprechaun. Like it was all three at once. It was actually pretty cool looking.
I'm gonna break the rule and try to Google this
don't.
Don't I'm not allowed to right now.
But
all right, fine.
All right, so the elf is watching everybody sleep, and he starts attacking the child. And let me bring up that one of the weird things is like
he's the best character so far.
One of the things this movie does is like it mostly shows you through the eyes of the elf, right? And it basically looks like me with my astigmatism and I can't see out of my right eye when I have my contacts in. That's what the movie looks like through his vision. Where I go like 3 minutes like, oh fuck, I can't see. And I'm just feeling out for shit. That's what it looks like through his vision. He attacks the brother, and then like everybody runs in to help the brother out. And he's like, it was a fucking demon, fucking. He kept cussing, and nobody gave a shit that the 8-year-old's just yelling "fuck" throughout this movie, which is also weird because I think this was like a made-for-TV movie, and like they said "fuck" so many times it was PG-13.
So they don't show any of the tits.
Wait a minute. Don't rush yourself.
All right.
So the mother thinks it was the cat.
1989?
Yeah, it was 89. And no, 89 is when that should have been eliminated. This ain't the bounty.
PG-13 89 is no fun.
Yeah, they started to get strict then. Because that's when they were censoring all kinds of movies. So the mom thinks it was the cat that was attacking him, and she's like just staring down the black cat like, you piece of shit.
Grandpa comes in.
The next day, the mother lures the cat into a fucking like a pillow sack and then takes it into the toilet and drowns it.
Wow.
And then
I would never have seen that coming.
No, she just looked at the cat angrily once, and then she's just like, all right, it's gotta fucking die in a toilet. And then she just she buries it in a shallow grave, which does a shallow grave ever work?
Shallow grave?
Why would you bother to bury it?
I don't know.
Just throw it away.
Well, the kid was, you know what? Fuck, that's right. Because
just throw it away.
That's right.
If you're that kind of person, you're throwing the cat away.
Well,
you're not digging a grave.
I just want to say that's a 15-minute.
If the daughter goes to throw away a fucking half-eaten apple, she'll see a fucking dead cat in the garbage can. I think that would probably raise suspicion.
You take out the trash yourself for a couple days. Whatever. You take it out the curb early.
Oh, I used to throw out that animal. Remember?
Okay, so
and you wrap them in multiple bags so nobody can see what's inside.
Bears,
and so the bears wouldn't get to them.
That's not a story we can get into right now.
Oh, but we will.
We will.
Next time.
Fuck, I'm 6 minutes into my movie. So it cuts to the girl at the mall is where she works, and she goes to Santa Claus, who's in the food court, and she's on his lap and starts flirting with her. And he starts to go to finger her, and he just keeps repeating the words, oral, oral, oral. And then she's like, what? And then she hits him and fucking rips his beard off. And he's like, fuck you. And then he gets fired.
Wait. It was okay with the fingering, but not the oral?
Yeah, no. It was until he said oral, she really got offended.
Boo.
And while all this is happening, there's a guy trying to get his job back, and it's Grizzly Adams from the old TV show with the bear.
How the mighty have fallen.
And yes, Grizzly Adams had a beard in this. So he's trying to explain to the owner of the mall that he's sober now and he just needs a job and he needs to get back to work and stuff. And the manager's just this fucking gay prick. He just can't stop being a snotty gay man to anybody. He was mean to the guy, the Santa that he fired and everything, and he won't give Grizzly Adams his job.
Is it Brent Spiner?
I don't know who. I didn't care to look. No, that's too good of a voice.
You're not
I
getting
would
your
remember
job
that.
at the mall back.
It could be J.K. Simmons. It kind of sounds like a mall pass.
So, anyways, the disgraced Santa goes back to his like little dressing room, and he starts doing like fucking lines of coke as he is fired. Like he just has multiple. Like he has like $500 of coke just laying on this table for some reason.
Fucking economy was great back then.
Right? Like as a mall Santa, you could afford like fucking 19 8-balls.
Oh man. We are born in the wrong decade.
So he's chopping them up, and then he brushes it all away with his fake beard and starts panicking.
Aww.
The whole time he was being followed by the elf, who grabbed the knife from the kitchenware section of the mall and then just starts stabbing him in the dick.
So did the elf have beef with Santa, or the elf is just like a opportunity
He's just
to
a
kill?
dick. Yeah, he just kills what's around him.
Okay. So he's not like a vengeful spirit. He's just...
No. It's just whatever's there he fucking kills, and you'll find out why later.
Okay.
I think Santa may have been a Jew. Like, I'm just throwing that out there right now for what comes later.
All right.
So after, like, everybody's, like, the guy is killed, the gay guy who runs the mall gave Grizzly Adams the job as Santa, because he's all bearded and shit, and he used to be a detective, or he was a mall cop or something, and he wants to solve that murder.
Awesome.
And while
This is great.
And while that's happening, the elf is outside the girl's house again, and he digs up the dead cat and just smashes it against the girl's window. Like, look at your cat! It's fucking dead!
This elf is a piece of shit. What the
The
hell?
elf is a dick! And then, the mother is like, it's gotta be raccoons. Because raccoons famously dig up fucking cats and smear them in the...
I had that problem all the time in my old house. You throw rocks at those raccoons, they don't care. They're going to be wiping dead cats on the windows every night.
So the grandpa knows, like, now that he's seen all this shit, he's like, oh no, the elves have been awakened. And by the way, the grandpa has like a weird accent. I'm not going to get into it now, but you'll figure it out.
He's Jewish?
So it sounds that way, but no.
Okay.
Close. All right. So the grandpa is there and he figured all this shit out. Nazis show up. Like literal, like old Nazis.
So not
old,
not like skinheads, but like...
No, not neo-Nazis. They're old Nazis
SS
that were actually with the
uniforms.
Third Reich. Yes. And they say they need the girl to bring back the Reich. The girl...
Angus is done.
Yeah.
Can't handle it.
Reliving the whole movie.
The girl's at the mall, and she's like, her and her two friends, like the pagan weird friends, are like, their whole plan is to get fucked that night.
Oh, like Superbad.
Yeah, they call these three guys to come over to bang them at the mall. So they're hiding out. Like, they put a piece of duct tape there. But also, so did Grizzly Adams, because he wanted the mall open so he could find out who the killer was while this happens. And then he sees them there. And he's like, what are you doing? They're just like, oh, we're doing our own thing. Don't get us in trouble. And he's like, all right, well, don't get in my way either. Do whatever you want. So then the three dudes show up, and I just imagined it was us if we were alive in the 80s trying to bang chicks. Yeah. So what happens is the guys go to the door, and they try to open it, but it won't open. And they're like, oh, dude, this sucks. Let's go get a crowbar. You never see them again for the entire movie.
That was it?
They never show back up.
Well, it does sound
That's
like
how
us.
much commitment they had to the pussy. They were just like, well, shit, it's locked. We're not getting any.
Let's go have a beer. Well, they didn't have cell phones back there. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah, they go away. They can't find a crowbar. What are you gonna do? Go home and drink.
Just go home. Fuck it. They had some skull.
Yeah, you could find some old like elf magazines, I guess, because they didn't have the internet back then for porn.
Okay, so they leave, and then some guys enter, and the girl's like, "Oh shit, this is our guys coming to fuck us." It's the Nazis. They fucking kick open the doors and start shooting randomly. And then there's a 15-minute shootout between the Nazis and Grizzly Adams.
15?
15 minutes of this.
You clocked it?
Hour 8.
Yes.
In the movie.
Well, there's a crazy evil elf running amok in the fucking mall, trying to kill everybody he sees.
I gotta ask, does the elf make like like creepy, noises?
Like, kind of, like he does like little sounds, but nothing like too over the top.
Like a full moon creature? Is that how he sounds?
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, is a full moon like creature, like doll brought to life, where it just kind of makes like the weird sounds. So the elf starts killing her friends off. The police show up and they're like, "What's with all these dead girls and why were you here, Grizzly Adams?" He's like, "I was trying to solve a murder." "You shouldn't do that." "You were fired, you fucking drunk." The Nazi grandpa now is at the point where he's like, "Oh my god, I gotta save my granddaughter."
Oh, wait, I didn't know the grandpa was a Nazi.
Yeah, he was a Nazi.
Whopper, he just threw in there.
So Grizzly Adams goes to this gay librarian to learn about these weird symbols that he found at their house.
So there's a gay mall manager and a gay librarian?
Yeah, like, everybody except Grizzly Adams and the grandpa were gay. As men, I'm assuming.
Okay.
So he goes to talk to them about these weird symbols that he sees in the house when he dropped the daughter off, and the mother was just a cunt and yells at her and yells at him, like, "Get out of my house." So he goes, and then he tells the librarian about these symbols he saw in the house. The guy tells him they were Nazi symbols about elves.
Yeah. They're known for their occult and elf interests.
Yes. And then the cunty mother starts yelling at the daughter and then eventually admits that her grandpa is also her father.
Oh, no.
Ew.
Yeah, so the mother was fucked by her own father to give birth to this girl.
Did she like it?
She didn't seem too happy about it because she was such a twatty bitch.
I'd probably be upset too if I birthed my own grandchild.
Yeah, she seemed really angry because the girl was just like, "I wish Dad was here," and she's like, "Well, he is."
Got you.
And then the weird gay guy tells Grizzly Adams about the story about the Nazis and the elves, and the elves, the Nazis were trying to resurrect to mate with the ultimate virgin on Christmas Eve to create the master race. That's the reason Nazis were fucking with elves.
Okay, where did they come from? Were they in America the whole time?
It's coming from the ultimate virgin blood, which is if you fuck your daughter and then she gives birth to another daughter, that's the ultimate race and creates elves to fuck them.
Wow.
I never knew.
So Grizzly Adams is riding back. He's like, "I gotta stop all this." And like, he's looking for a lighter in his car to smoke his cigarette. Because I gotta bring that up. Every scene that Grizzly Adams is in, he's smoking a cigarette.
Oh, that guy smells great.
Well, it killed him. He's
in the movie? Or?
He's never not with a cigarette in his hand during this entire movie.
Well, you gotta die sometime.
So he's trying to find a lighter, and then he finds a stick of dynamite in his car.
What is this, a fucking cartoon?
Yes, it was literally wrapped up in the tape, like 3 pieces of dynamite. And he's like, "Oh no!" and jumps out and the car explodes. So then some shit starts happening back at the house. Nazis are killing everybody there. Grizzly Adams is firing back and killing them. The girl and the little brother run away.
Wait, it sounds like the Nazis.
Wait, what's the elf been doing the last 20 minutes?
Huh?
Hey, Mike and I are both screaming at this movie at the same time.
So excited.
What's the elf been doing for the last 20 minutes?
Oh, he's chilling.
I was going to say, it sounds like the Nazis have been killing more people than the elf.
Yeah.
The Nazis, fucking body count,
Nazis,
way more than the elf. And keep in mind, this movie is called Elves, and there's one. Which bugs the shit out of me.
Maybe it's considering the Nazis also to be elves.
They're elves.
Yeah.
You know how much I would hurt a
implied.
Nazi feeling if you called them an elf?
I'm going to try it tomorrow.
So, how many Nazis do you run into a day?
I'm going to have it ready just in case.
You're just yelling at us on this podcast.
Mike, you're an elf. Angus, you're an elf.
All right, so the girl and the brother end up running, and they run to the woods where she originally cut herself, and then the elf tries to rape her, and it takes the elf like 10 minutes to get on top of her.
This sounds like Mike in a rape.
Like, he's just taking his time, you know? He's just winding up, and she's just sitting there fucking cold, like, okay, well, I guess this is gonna happen. And the little brother runs back to the house, and then Grizzly Adams is dying because he got shot. He gives the kid like this broken glass. Like, I'm not sure what it was. It was just like a shard of glass. And he's like, here, take this back to her. She'll know what to do with it. And the brother gives it to her. And then she just stabs the ground while like this 10-minute almost rape is happening. Like, and he doesn't even try to stop at the elf. He's like, oh, she's got the glass. And then she just stabs the ground. The screen goes blurry and weird for like 5 minutes.
Astigmatism.
Yeah, it does that again, but it's even worse because now it's like shining negative colors and shit at you too. So you don't know what's going on, and it lasts for fucking ever. And that's it. The movie's over.
Great movie.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
Can I
Like,
talk
do you
about
know,
the movie?
like, if the elf is gone? Like,
So the credits start rolling, right?
Right.
And during the credits, you see a little fetus outline, but it's shaped a little bit like an elf.
what is it? So she's pregnant with the elf?
Pregnant elf baby.
I guess so, even though it never penetrated her.
Hey,
So-
Angus,
Yeah.
I don't want to step on your toes, but were you ever going to talk about the VHS cover in German of elves? Or
No, I gotta look this up now.
Wait.
can I talk about it?
Yes, please talk about it, because
Okay. So remember, two things. All right. Remember that game we used to play where like we put our like thumb and ring finger together, and like if you looked at it, we punched each other in the face or something.
yeah, that's so popular.
In the German VHS version of this, the elf is making that symbol. Like just clear as day. But he's
Oh my god, yes, it's amazing.
It doesn't count because it's above his waist.
yes, it's above his waist. He's a cheating piece of shit.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Oh, it doesn't count.
cool.
It has to be below the waist.
The tagline it says elves, das Monster des Grauens, which apparently elves, the monster of horror. And I just love it. I love this cover.
So I'm seeing
I
the
wanna-
VHS and it shows two elves next to each other. So it's just
That's what I was gonna say. I love that it shows two elves, even though there was one elf in the
It's
movie.
just a picture of one elf shown twice together.
Yes, that's the same elf.
There's Grizzly Adams.
The American elf. The German only had the hand.
I love the tagline. They're not working for Santa. ... anymore. Like, why do you have to ... Like, they're not working for Santa anymore. It's fine, but they're not working for Santa anymore. But that doesn't even make sense. Putting the ...
I'm a fan of that.
Speaking of
I don't know.
dots.
I like dots.
Speaking of dots, let's just move this right into our best bullet points. Mike, you went first, so give us your best bullet points.
So this is the ending 10 minutes of the movie. This is my selling point. And the beginning of this is gonna kind
I'm
of gear
so
towards
excited.
Angus a little bit because
I know what this is.
it involves the Wolfpack from the NWO WCW days. So let me start.
Giddy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically, we ended with the Blanchard turning into a sex
And the
puddle
judge
thing,
fisting him.
and so the judge goes after Billy again because Billy like runs away, and the judge he turns into the NWO Wolfpack Too Sweet hand gesture. Like his face turns into that, and he says, "This is what he says." He says, come on, Billy, give you a hand. Or come on, Billy, let me give you a hand. And not only does his face have the NWO Pack Too Sweet gesture, but his hand also turns into the NWO Too Sweet. Tries to grip Billy's nipple. Like, it misses his whole body and starts trying to, like, Too Sweet his nipple. And it's great. I fucking died watching this. I was like, is this fucking real? So that happens as the judge is trying to get Billy. And then Billy's mother wants to fuck Billy and his sister. And except Billy's sister is actually in her mother's cunt. So Billy's mother shows up, and then she tries to be sexual, and then she turns into this weird, like, golem-looking creature, and Billy trips, and then he gets face to face with his own mother's cunt, and then his mother's cunt turns into Billy's sister's face, and she asks Billy if he has any other fetishes he would like to indulge in, and then she sticks her tongue out and, like, licks his face, and I almost came watching this. I thought it was fantastic. Right?
The thing is, I know what it looks like, and it's not a comable thing, people.
But her face is very pretty. Her face is pretty in the scene. Okay, so for some reason, Billy declines. He's like, I don't want any part of this.
For some reason? Dude, look, it's a fucking mystery.
Okay, and as Billy's running away, his father pops out of, like, the bed sheets.
My favorite.
And his father is literally a butthead. His head is where his own ass is, and he farts at Billy and then starts laughing. And then, okay, so Billy runs out of this
Wait, you
room.
forgot the best line.
What was the best line?
Oh, okay.
No, what was it?
Where he's like, hey, I guess I am a real butthead or something like that.
Right. So he throws Billy's own joke from the beginning of the movie right back in the face. I can't believe we remember that.
Dude, that was my favorite part of the movie was the butthead line.
All right. So Blanchard now is basically just a giant intestine. He's totally done for. And then Billy's friend sneaks into the party, and he's really, really appalled about what's happening to Blanchard. He, like, looks around, and he's just like, what is happening? Why is everyone having naked sex reptile orgy thing? And he doesn't know what's going on. And basically at this point in the movie, I don't know if I'm watching a movie or if I got high on accident. Because, like, I'm just staring, I'm just like, I don't know why any of this happened all of a sudden. So Blanchard's done. And he's gone, and everyone starts morphing back into just being old and naked. And so it's just a bunch of naked, old, slimy people. And they're having a great time, man. Like one of the guys is still having a cigar. Like, he turned into a puddle of slime that was having sex with an underage boy. And then when he went back to being an old naked man, he had a cigar on him. He's just, like, still smoking a cigar. And so I don't really know what... Yeah, he's just like, I'm sucking the blood off of young men, and I love it. Here's my cigar. And so the ending, Billy and this kid. Oh, okay. So the ending is Billy and one of the like other guys his age, but who is part of the society. They get into a fist fight, and Billy, like, beats him up by punching him in the balls and going all the way up through his anus and balls and just, like, shoving his fingers out of his eyes. And he wins. Billy wins. And that's the end of the movie.
Sucker punch.
Old sucker punch. That's it. Everyone, that's it. That's the movie's over. That's my selling point.
Funny is I bought that movie, like, I bought the Deluxe Arrow Edition Blu-ray, and I watched it with Jesse and my friend Blake, and they both were so disgusted by it. Like, they're like, we'll never watch this movie again. I don't care what you pay me. And then it came with a little comic book for a sequel. So I'll give you that bullet point. There's a fucking sequel graphic novel in it.
I want to hear it.
Well, it's a book. You can't hear a book.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to tell me a story or something.
I didn't read it.
Okay.
I'm not going to help your movie out, motherfucker.
All right, TJ, let's hear your shit.
I'm feeling like I should have watched, like, a bad movie this time. I've been watching shit movies the last few episodes, and I'm finally like, I need to watch a good movie. And you guys watched
the DeNiro movie.
Like, yeah, I was like, Mickey Rourke and DeNiro.
I don't know what you're talking
Like,
I love my movie.
This is gonna be good, and like you guys watch these batshit balls to the wall movies. like, how am I going to compete with that? I liked my movie. Here's my bullet point is like going back to like just that atmosphere that it had through the whole movie. Like you weren't seeing anything really horrific till near the end, which that's my horizon shift. But you just had that like it was oppressive. Like the mystery, like it's very psychological. Like just feeling like something's not right. What's going on? Like why everything seems normal, but why doesn't it feel right? Also the soundtrack was really good as well. It was actually done by Trevor Jones. He was actually a composer for Jim Henson. He did the score for The Dark Crystal. He did the score for Time Bandits for Terry Gilliam. And he also did not the David Bowie parts of Labyrinth. So if it wasn't like a musical number, all that music was done by Trevor Jones. So he actually has this, like, occasionally he goes into all out like horror movie music, but then there's a lot of stuff that's just like bassy, or like there's a scene, like the scene after when Rourke locks him away to sober up to try to get some straight answers out of him, and he goes out on like just wanders the town a little. As he's going around, it's just pounding heartbeat, like that crescendos until like he starts smoking cigarettes, and it's just kind of like, this is random, the heartbeats, but it really draws you into, like I said, that feeling of just it's not right, even though they're not showing you anything explicitly horrific on the movie. And I like that, how it just kind of built and built and built, and you get hints and shadowing until it just goes all out in the end, which I'll save for the next part. And that's my selling point.
Nice.
The film is an experience.
Angus?
Shit. Like, I kind of gave away some of mine with these while you guys were just like, and then I was like, fuck, I gotta say it.
We melted out of you.
Because the elf-like fetus thing was something I had. I thought that was cool. And then like also the Grizzly Adams never not smoking thing. Like I brought that up on my own, but it was so fun to see. Like it would make a fun drinking game when he's not smoking. You'd never be drunk.
You're making me want to sleep.
Well, one of the scenes was, and like this is gonna sound kind of shitty because I shit on Mike for his movie about the nudity in a PG movie, but the mother, she actually gets killed. I left that part out. She dies in a bathtub, and the thing is, she looks really good for an older woman. Like she has like a nice ass and pretty good tits and stuff. But it's funny because she's just laying in the tub, and then the elf comes in and pushes the radio in and electrocutes her, and she's like just shocking to death, her tits shaking around. But the funny thing is, the elf starts headbanging along with her death. Like he starts rocking the fuck out, which is hilarious.
That's great. I like that.
And then going along with that, like, and also like I think TJ's thing is like you guys heard it, the score was surprisingly good for like a fucking no budget movie.
Yeah,
the guy
so
who did it
goofy like that, or did it like get
no there's like actually some like it does like a mix between the two, but it's like it's like 80s camp, but it also has like some tense moments with it. And I'm trying to look up the guy's name, but because he didn't really do anything else from what I remember.
I would imagine not. Even working on elves.
But I thought it was really good. The music here, hold on. Sound department. No, not that guy. Fuck. Anyway, music by, his name is Vladimir Horenzi. What he's most known for is a movie called Firehead. Like, Elves isn't even on the list.
Is that related to Doomhead?
I hope so. That'd be great. It has an iron and a sickle, so it's apparently some Soviet movie. But no, I thought the music was great. That's all I gotta say.
If I can go back, I forgot one thing about my bullet points getting into that atmosphere. One thing I wanted to say was like it had that feel. When I was watching, I was just taking notes on it. I was like, man, this really feels like that tension and like mystery like you had in Jacob's Ladder. Like Jacob's Ladder had a lot of like the really weird surreal stuff that this doesn't have, but like that paranoid feel that Jacob's Ladder had. And come to find out, Alan Marshall produced this movie, and then he later produced Jacob's Ladder.
That's what made me like when I watched Jacob's Ladder. Like IMDb had this as another movie to watch. So that's what made me think of it.
Yeah, they had that same like general feel. So Jacob's Ladder is much more overtly nightmarish. This is a little bit, like I said, I keep saying it's much more psychological. So it's like in your head, but you just, yeah.
I have Jacob's Ladder on Blu-ray, but I've never watched it.
Dude, do it. It's awesome.
All
One of the
right.
scariest movies I've ever seen.
Really?
Now?
Well, because of the way it, like movies that fuck with your head like that get to me way more than like a traditional scare.
Yeah. Yep.
And there's like that early, like, well, apparently late 80s, but early 90s, like cerebral shit. Like even Flatliners, not an explicitly scary movie, but like that kind of got under my skin.
Was it the Michael J. Fox movie?
No, it was Kiefer Sutherland.
You're thinking of The Frighteners.
Yeah. Frighteners is not scary. That's a good movie, but not a scary one.
I love it.
Now into our next segment, which comes from our love for the movie Event Horizon. So when we started a podcast, our favorite movie collectively is Event Horizon. So every movie we ever bring to the podcast has to be related to Event Horizon in a segment we call The Horizon Shift.
In my movie,
No pause for the music ever. You forget every time. This is just a thing now. I'll just be ready to edit this.
a noise. I'm like, God damn.
Why do we always make Mike first for this then? If he always
He just goes. We're quiet, so he's like, well, these bastards don't want to talk.
I want to feel silent.
We're leaving a little gap so I can just easily throw the
I
music in.
know.
Well, you go first anyway, so go. You can be quiet now? Go.
Dude,
I need a minute.
I can think of one for Mike so easily, and I can't think of one for mine. I'm still struggling.
That's a good thing.
All right.
Going last.
It's bugging me.
So, as we all know in Event Horizon, it was cut down from a 2 hour and 15-minute movie to I think somewhere around an hour and 40, hour 45 or something like that. And most of what was cut was a bunch of crazy, disgusting hell scenes about the old crew just being fucking tortured and shit in hell. And really what we could do is we could take the last 10 minutes of my movie and just put it into what should have been the hell scenes from the movie, and it would just fit right in.
It would work so fucking well. As soon as I heard about the movie he did, I was like, God damn it, that's exactly where it's going to go, and it works perfectly.
It is just a big, disgusting barbecue sauce hell orgy, and it's perfect. And that is my Horizon.
It's so good. God damn it, I'm jealous.
Mine follows along those same lines. Unfortunately, Angel Heart suffered the same fate as Event Horizon, being cut from rated X to rated R.
No.
Now, the scene in question is the sex scene between Mickey Rourke and Lisa Bonet. Now, she's the Buddhist priestess, and we find out later, obviously, his soul belongs to the devil. So when they come together to have sex, freaky shit happens.
Interracial.
Yeah, back in 1955. Woo!
Boo!
So he's in a hotel that's leaking water, and as they have sex, the water turns to blood. It doesn't play Slayer. The soundtrack's not that good. But it starts to rain blood, and then it starts having like all these...
That's what happens when races mix.
Says the guy who loves black girls, so he knows from experience.
I've seen the stains on Michael's fucking carpet. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That blood is just the natural result of sex, not anything freaky deaky from him killing underage girls.
It's blood and feet sweat.
And the scene does play out a lot like that crew scene. Like you see flashes of crazy stuff, but never quite the whole picture. The best shot, though, is so Mickey Rourke is really going at it with her, and he's thrusting like crazy, and you kind of shoot away to see just blood everywhere. And when you go back to him in the briefest of shots, he is literally fucking a piece of meat. Like he's got this like slab of cow rib or whatever, just red and bloody that he's just pounding away on. And that was just a jaw-dropping moment. Because every other scene it's him with a person, and then it just this butcher's bloody slab. So yeah, that's my Horizon shit. That it had this gory scene, but also that, like Event Horizon, it was cut to avoid the X rating.
Okay.
That sucks. I always hate when things are fucking cut, man. Like it, especially like nowadays, like where we have like Blu-ray and DVD and we can include that shit. But back then they just fucking got rid of it.
Yeah, like Event Horizon, all that stuff's gone. He just came out this year.
It was found in a Transylvanian fucking salt mine.
But didn't he just come out and say like it's like unusable, like they can't do anything?
Yeah,
with it?
they found it in Transylvania and they can't use it because it's been sitting there for fucking 20 years. It sucks.
He said it's worthless and it's not even worth, like they can't really, we can't see it. We still never see it.
We're gonna regret this to our grave.
Yeah.
All
right, Angus. What about your Horizon?
All right, mine sucks dick compared to your guys'. Basically, Nazis are trying to raise elves from hell. The Lewis and Clark was fucking raising hell from the fucking portal. That's all I got.
Cool. Hell is a thing.
It exists. Unless it's Doom.
Yeah, our movies went to hell, but Doom didn't.
Yep.
But it still won.
Let's cast our votes, fellas, to decide a winner who can pick the next theme, although we do have a little special this episode. Mike, your vote.
Yes, I vote for Angus.
All right. My vote, because of your enthusiasm, you've not been this excited for a movie in a long time. Mike, you got it with Society.
Right.
And you had a killer Horizon shift.
Yeah, it was great. The thing is, I've seen Society, and Mike's description of it makes me want to watch it again. Like, fuck, man, that movie is so fucking out there. Yeah, I give it to Mike.
Fuck yeah.
So Mike gets to pick the theme for not the next episode or the episode after, but in the future. Mike's going to have...
God damn it, Black History Month's always ruining my good time.
Well, we have something set up.
So for the next 2 episodes, we're going to do what we're calling... Is it Back to Black or Black to Black episodes?
I like Black to Black.
Black to Black is my favorite.
All right,
thing I've ever
for
heard.
February, Black History Month, we're doing Black to Black episodes, where one episode we're going to watch 70s blaxploitation flicks. We're going to follow that up in the next episode with 90s hood dramas.
Yes.
I love it.
I've got mine picked out already.
Me too.
Wait, what are we doing next episode? Next episode is what?
For our very next episode will be 70s blaxploitation.
Okay, is this okay? All right.
And then 90s hood drama. And
then
Mike,
you pick the one after.
You've got the theme for the next.
I'm throwing a little like wrench, like a hand wrench into our things. I'm gonna pick. I have it ready right now.
All right.
I have one of 2. I don't know which one I want to pick, but I think it's this one.
Flip a coin.
And it's gonna be Coming Back. Whoa, no, Coming Back from War movie. So people coming back from a war movie. That's what I want our movie to be about. And
I know mine already.
I got mine too.
Wow. Should we talk about it then? Because I have my movie too.
I mean,
okay.
Not here. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.